The great chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with nervous energy. Over 200 alien species were represented here, from the tall, slender Arctians to the blob-like Mortians. Their voices created a strange mix of sounds as they waited for the meeting to begin. High Commander Zex stood at the center of the room. His blue skin shimmered under the bright lights as he raised his 4 arms for silence. "We have discovered a new planet," he announced. "The natives call it Earth." Holographic images appeared above the central table. They showed blue oceans, green forests, and busy cities filled with humans going about their daily lives. "They seem primitive," said Council Member Drow, a reptilian creature with scales that changed color with his mood. Right now, they were a dismissive yellow. "Their technology is basic. They have only just reached their own moon." Commander Vexlar of the Drazak Empire stepped forward. Unlike most council members, the Drazak were known for their aggressive ways. Vexlar's red eyes narrowed as he studied the images. "Why waste time watching them?" he growled. "Their planet has valuable resources. We should take what we need." A murmur spread through the chamber. Most council races believed in peaceful contact with new species. Invasion was rarely discussed. "That would break our most sacred laws," said Xanthi, an ancient member whose crystal body glowed softly in the dim light. "We must observe first. Learn their ways." "I have studied their history," Vexlar replied. "These humans fight endless wars among themselves. They are violent and divided. They would be easy to conquer." On Earth, Dr. Olivia Wright sat at her desk at NASA, rubbing her tired eyes. For 3 days straight, she had been analyzing strange signals from deep space. They didn't match any known pattern. They seemed almost like a conversation. "Greg, take a look at this," she called to her colleague. Greg Porter walked over, coffee cup in hand. He was NASA's best signal analyst, even though he looked more like a surfer with his blonde hair and casual style. "What am I looking at, Liv?" he asked, leaning over her shoulder. "I think someone out there is talking about us," she said quietly. Across the country, Captain Alan Foster received an urgent call. As head of a special Navy unit, he was used to strange requests, but this one made him sit up straight. "Sir, you want me to prepare for what?" "Possible contact with non-Earth intelligence," said the voice of Admiral Henry Baker. "This is not a drill, Captain. We need contingency plans. Yesterday, in orbit around Earth's moon, hidden from human detection, a small Drazak scout ship watched. Inside, Scout Leader Cragg recorded everything he saw. "The humans have primitive defense systems," he reported back to Vexlar. "Their weapons use simple explosives and basic metals. They would not stand a chance against our plasma cannons." What Cragg failed to notice was the small team of humans testing a new laser defense system just 50 miles from his position. The system that had, in fact, detected his ship but was dismissed as a computer error by its operators. Back in the council chamber, Xanthi spoke again. Her crystal form pulsed with concerned light. "There is something unusual about these humans," she warned. "They advance quickly. Too quickly. In just 100 years, they went from ground travel to spaceflight. Their adaptive abilities are remarkable." Vexlar laughed. "All the more reason to deal with them now, before they become a problem." The council voted. Most believed humans were too primitive to be of concern. They approved further observation, but also gave the Drazak permission to establish a small presence near Earth for security purposes. As Vexlar left the chamber, he smiled. The council didn't need to know that his small presence would include 3 warships. Soon, Earth's resources would belong to the Drazak Empire. Little did he know that humans were about to prove far more troublesome than anyone in the galaxy could have imagined. Dr. Olivia Wright hadn't slept in 36 hours. The strange signals she discovered were growing stronger, and now she had partly decoded them. What she found made her hands shake. "This can't be right," she muttered as she stared at her computer screen. The translated message fragments contained words like Earth, humans, and most disturbing of all, invasion. She reached for her phone to call her boss when it rang in her hand. "Dr. Wright, this is Admiral Baker. A car is coming to get you. Pack for a few days." 3 hours later, Olivia sat in a secret underground facility with military leaders from 7 countries. They called it the Global Defense Initiative. Admiral Frank Donovan, a tough man with gray hair and a strong jaw, stood at the front of the room. Maps and satellite images covered the wall behind him. "Ladies and gentlemen, we face a threat unlike any in human history," he said gravely. "We believe visitors from another world are watching us, and they may not be friendly." In a military base in Arizona, Lieutenant Grace Martinez led her team through night training exercises. Her unit specialized in new technology testing, but tonight they were tracking something unusual. Radar had picked up objects moving at impossible speeds in the upper atmosphere. "Sir, whatever these things are, they're not ours," she reported to her commander. "And they're getting bolder." Grace didn't know it yet, but she had just detected a Drazak scout ship entering Earth's atmosphere. Across the ocean, in a small apartment in London, a seemingly ordinary man named John watched humans with great interest. But John wasn't human. He was Talassi, a council spy sent to observe Earth society up close. For the past year, he had been living among humans, learning their ways. Talassi was growing concerned. Humans were far more complex than the council realized. In just 1 week, he had seen them show incredible kindness to strangers, and then moments later fight over trivial matters. They created beautiful art and terrible weapons. They were unpredictable in ways that fascinated and worried him. He needed to report this to the council, but his communications had been blocked. Something was interfering with his signals. That something was Commander Vexlar's scouts, who had established jamming stations around the planet. The scouts had orders to disable key infrastructure before the main invasion force arrived. Their first target was a power station in California. 3 Drazak soldiers approached it under cover of darkness, carrying devices that could shut down the entire Western power grid. But they hadn't counted on night security guard Pete Johnson and his dog, Max. When Max started barking at seemingly empty air, Pete didn't dismiss it. The area had too many break-in attempts lately. Pete called for backup and grabbed his flashlight. The beam passed through the Drazak cloaking field, creating a strange shimmer in the air. It wasn't much, but it was enough for Pete to fire his warning shot. The scouts retreated, surprised that their advanced technology had been spotted by something as simple as a flashlight and a dog. Back at the council chamber, Vexlar presented his case again, this time with carefully edited footage of Earth. "The humans are developing weapons of mass destruction," he said, showing images of military tests. "They are violent and pose a threat to galactic peace." What he didn't show was the context. Defensive systems, medical breakthroughs, or the international cooperation that was growing as humans detected signs of alien presence. The council was split, but worry won over caution. They approved a Drazak containment operation to prevent human aggression from spreading beyond Earth. As the vote passed, Xenthi's crystal form dimmed in sadness. "You do not understand what you are doing," she whispered. "These humans are different." In orbit, Vexlar received the news with a cruel smile. 3 massive warships emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. The invasion of Earth was about to begin. The first signs of the invasion were subtle. Satellites stopped working. Radio signals became filled with static. Then the night sky lit up with streaks of blue light as the Drazak warships entered Earth's atmosphere. Admiral Donovan stood in the command center, watching as red dots appeared on the global map. Each dot represented an alien ship. "They're targeting major cities," he said, his voice steady despite the fear in his chest. "Beijing, London, New York, Moscow. Get our people in the air now." Across the world, fighter jets scrambled into the sky. They were Earth's first line of defense, but against the massive Drazak warships, they seemed tiny and fragile. In New York, people stood in the streets, staring up at the huge dark ship that blocked out the sun. Some ran in panic. Others took videos with their phones, not fully understanding the danger. The first attack came without warning. A beam of energy shot from the ship hovering over Central Park, aimed at a power station. The explosion lit up the morning sky and sent a shockwave through the city. Captain Alan Foster was in a jet heading straight for the alien ship. He had been training for this moment since Admiral Baker's call, but nothing could have prepared him for what he saw. "Command, I have visual on the target," he reported. "It's at least half a mile wide." "Engage with caution, Captain," came the reply. "We need to know what we're dealing with." Alan locked his missiles on the ship and fired. They hit the target but seemed to bounce off an invisible shield. The alien ship turned slowly, as if only now noticing the human aircraft. A flash of light was all the warning Alan had. He banked hard to the right as energy beams cut through the air where his jet had been seconds before. "Their weapons are energy-based," he reported, "and they're fast." In a research lab 50 feet underground, Dr. Kate Lewis watched the footage of the attack. As a weapons engineer, she noticed something interesting when the missiles hit the alien shield. "Play that back," she told her assistant. "Look at the shield when it's hit. See that blue flicker? That's a frequency response." She began typing rapidly. "Every shield has a weakness. We just need to find the right frequency." In orbit, Commander Vexlar watched with satisfaction as his ships positioned themselves around the planet. "Begin the second wave," he ordered. "Target their military bases next." But not all attacks were going as planned. In London, the Drazak found their systems malfunctioning. Their targeting computers couldn't lock onto key buildings. Unknown to them, the city had been testing new electronic warfare systems that were accidentally interfering with alien technology. In the council chamber, representatives watched the invasion through live feeds. Many were disturbed by what they saw. "This is not a containment operation," Cynthia said angrily. "This is a full invasion. We must stop this." "The operation has been approved," the council leader replied. "We cannot intervene now." Xenthi's crystal body pulsed with determination. "Then I will help them myself." She sent a coded message to Earth with information about Drazak shield technology. On the ground, humans were not surrendering. In every city under attack, people fought back however they could. Soldiers used whatever weapons they had. Civilians helped the injured and created makeshift shelters. In the Arizona desert, Lieutenant Grace Martinez and her team captured a damaged scout ship that had crash-landed. "Get it to the research facility," she ordered. "And be careful. This is the best chance we have to understand their technology." The first day of the invasion ended with much of Earth damaged but not defeated. The Drazak had expected quick surrender. Instead, they faced determined resistance. As night fell, Commander Vexlar sent a message to his troops. "Establish forward bases. Tomorrow, we break their will to fight." He didn't realize that humans had already begun to adapt to the invasion, and adaptation was what humans did best. 1 week after the invasion began, world leaders met in a bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. The room was filled with grim faces and maps showing red zones where aliens now controlled territory. General Eric Patterson, a tall man with a stern face and a reputation for brilliant strategy, stood to address the group. "We need to stop fighting as separate countries," he said firmly. "As of today, all Earth forces will operate under one command." No one argued. The old rivalries between nations seemed small now compared to the threat from the stars. In a lab 30 miles away, Dr. Wright and her team worked day and night studying the alien signals and the parts from a crashed scout ship. "Their communication system uses quantum principles," she explained to the military officers watching her work. "But there's a pattern to it. We can use this." Within days, humans began to listen in on alien communications. They couldn't understand all of it yet, but they could track Drazak movements. In Chicago, now partly controlled by alien forces, former Army Ranger Steve Harris led a group of civilians fighting back. They couldn't match alien firepower, but they knew the city better than any invader. "They don't expect us to keep fighting," he told his group as they planned their next move. "That's our advantage." Steve's team had discovered that the alien soldiers couldn't see well in heavy rain. This simple weakness allowed his fighters to move supplies right past alien checkpoints during storms. In the captured scout ship, Lieutenant Grace Martinez made another important discovery. "They breathe different air than we do," she reported to command. "Their suits filter out our atmosphere. If we can damage those suits..." Dr. Lewis worked with this information to develop a new weapon, a modified electromagnetic pulse that could disrupt not just alien electronics, but also their life support systems. "It won't kill them," she explained, "but it will force them to retreat to their ships." Around the world, small victories began to give humans hope. A group of farmers in Russia used tractors to pull down a small alien craft. Australian Special Forces successfully raided a Drazak supply depot. Brazilian hackers figured out how to jam alien communications for short periods. In orbit, Vexlar received concerning reports. "The humans are adapting too quickly," his second-in-command warned. "They've already learned to avoid our sensor suites." "Send in more troops," Vexlar ordered. "Crush their resistance now." But in the council chamber, questions were being raised. The feeds from Earth showed humans fighting with remarkable determination. Some council members began to wonder if they had made a terrible mistake in allowing the invasion. "This was supposed to be a simple containment operation," one member said. "Not a war against a species fighting for survival." "The Drazak have gone too far," Xanthi argued. "We must stop this before it gets worse." The council began formal proceedings against Commander Vexlar for exceeding the approved mission parameters. Back on Earth, Captain Foster led a daring air mission against a Drazak base in the Nevada desert. His squadron used Dr. Lewis's new weapon for the first time. "Target their command center," he ordered. "Fire on my mark." The pulse hit the base, and for a moment nothing happened. Then alien soldiers began rushing to their ships, their life support systems failing. General Patterson watched the live feed from headquarters. "It works," he said with the first smile anyone had seen on his face since the invasion began. "We have a way to fight back." As news of the successful attack spread, resistance groups worldwide prepared to use the new tactics. Humans might be outgunned, but they were not defeated. The tide was beginning to turn, though the hardest battle still lay ahead. And in space, the Council was finally taking action that would change everything. 3 weeks into the invasion, Earth was ready to strike back. In underground bases around the world, soldiers prepared for what General Patterson called Operation Defiance, a coordinated global counterattack. "Today we show them that humans don't surrender," Patterson told his commanders through a secure video link. "All units attack at exactly 600 hours. As dawn broke across different time zones, human forces moved against Drazak positions using everything they had learned about the aliens. In New York, fighters used the city's underground tunnels to bypass alien sensors. In China, special forces used mirrors to confuse alien targeting systems. In Brazil, pilots flew low over the rainforest, hiding from alien radar. Captain Alan Foster led the most daring mission of all. Using a captured alien shuttle modified by Dr. Lewis, he and a small team headed for space. Their target, Vexlar's command ship. "This is crazy," said his co-pilot Lisa Chen as they approached the massive warship. "But I guess crazy is all we have left." Their shuttle was recognized as Drazak, allowing them to dock without question. Once inside, they moved quickly through the ship, planting devices designed by Dr. Wright that would disrupt the ship's systems. Meanwhile, humans on the ground used new tactics that confused the invaders. In London, resistance fighters broadcast sounds at frequencies that hurt Drazak hearing. In Sydney, they used simple smoke to block the aliens' heat vision. In Cairo, they reflected sunlight off mirrors to blind alien sensors. These weren't advanced technologies, just clever uses of what humans had available. And they worked because the Drazak had expected to fight a technological war, not one based on creativity and adaptation. In orbit, a new ship appeared near Earth. It belonged to Council representatives who had come to assess the situation. What they saw shocked them. "The humans are fighting back effectively," reported a Council observer. "They've adapted to Drazak technology in weeks, not years." On the main Council ship, Xanthi met with other concerned representatives. "We must stop this now," she insisted. "The Drazak have violated our most basic laws. This was never about containment. It was about conquest." While the Council debated, Commander Vexler grew desperate. His invasion was failing. In his command center, he gave a terrible order. "Prepare the planet killers," he told his weapons officer. "If we cannot have Earth, no one will." What Vexler didn't know was that Captain Foster's team had reached the ship's communication center. They heard the order and knew they had to act fast. "Change of plans," Alan told his team. "We need to take control of this ship now." In a bold move, they used Dr. Lewis's electromagnetic weapon at full power. It wasn't designed for a ship this size, but they had no choice. The pulse raced through the command ship's systems, temporarily disabling everything. In the confusion, Foster's team fought their way to the bridge. At the same time, several alien species from the Council made a surprising decision. Impressed by human courage, they sent their own ships to help defend Earth. "The humans have earned the right to exist free," said the captain of an Arxian vessel as it positioned itself between Earth and the Drazak fleet. The final battle for Earth took place in orbit. Human fighters launched from hidden bases. Allied alien ships engaged the Drazak, and on Vexelar's command ship, Captain Foster and his team fought to prevent the use of the planet killers. As the battle raged, the full Galactic Council finally arrived with a peacekeeping force. Their massive ships dwarfed even the Drazak warships. "This conflict is over," announced the Council Supreme through all channels. "Stand down immediately." The Drazak had no choice but to obey. After years of breaking Council rules, they had finally gone too far. The invasion of Earth was over. But Earth's story in the galaxy was just beginning. The massive Council peacekeeping ships hung in Earth's orbit like silver mountains in the sky. On the main Council vessel, an emergency session was called. For the first time in galactic history, representatives of Earth were invited to attend. Ambassador Samantha Reed walked into the great Council chamber with her head held high. As a former diplomat, she had been chosen to speak for humanity. Behind her came General Patterson, Captain Foster, and Dr. Wright. They looked small among the various alien species, but their presence commanded respect. "We come before this council not as supplicants, but as equals," Samantha said, her voice clear and strong. "Your member, the Drazak Empire, attacked our world without cause. We demand justice." The Council Supreme, a being of pure energy contained in a special suit, spoke. "The attack on Earth was not authorized as it was carried out," they said. "Commander Vexelar will face our highest punishment." Two guards brought in Vexelar, who glared at the humans with hatred. "These primitives deserve to be conquered," he snarled. "Look at their history of violence." Captain Foster stepped forward. "Yes, we've fought wars among ourselves. We've made terrible mistakes. But when your ships came, humans from every nation united to defend our home. We value freedom above all else." The Council watched recordings from the invasion. Humans rescuing each other from burning buildings, soldiers sacrificing themselves to save civilians, ordinary people finding creative ways to fight back against overwhelming technology. Xanthi addressed the Council, her crystal form glowing brightly. "I warned you about these humans. They adapt faster than any species we've encountered. In just weeks, they went from having no defense against Drazak weapons to turning those same weapons against their makers." The Council chambers buzzed with discussion. Some members argued that humans were too dangerous to join galactic society. Others saw potential in their unique abilities. "We propose that Earth be granted special status," said the representative from Arxia. "Not full membership yet, but recognition of their sovereignty and right to defense. Commander Vexlar, seeing his plans crumble, made one last desperate move. He activated a hidden device on his wrist. Alarms blared throughout the Council ship. "What is happening?" demanded the Council Supreme. A technician rushed in. A signal was sent to the Drazak fleet. 3 ships have broken formation and are heading toward Earth's moon with weapons charged. It was Vexlar's final act of vengeance. The destruction of Earth's moon would cause catastrophic effects on the planet below. General Patterson turned to Dr. Wright. "Can we stop them?" Before she could answer, Lieutenant Grace Martinez's voice came through their communicators. She had been commanding the human defense fleet near the moon. "We see them," she said calmly, "and we're ready." The Council watched in amazement as the small human ships executed a perfectly coordinated attack on the much larger Drazak vessels. Using what they had learned about Drazak shield frequencies, they targeted specific weak points. One by one, the Drazak ships lost power and drifted harmlessly away from the moon. "Impossible," whispered Vexlar. "They couldn't have learned our systems so quickly." "You chose the wrong planet to invade," Captain Foster told him with a grim smile. The Council chambers were silent with shock. Then the Arxian representative spoke again. "I believe we have our answer about humanity's place in the galaxy. Any species that can defend itself so effectively against a Drazak attack has earned the right to sit at this table." The Council Supreme nodded. "Ambassador Reed, we offer Earth provisional membership in the Galactic Council with full protection under our laws." Samantha looked at her fellow humans, then back at the assembled aliens. "Earth accepts with one condition," she said firmly. "Justice must be served not just against Vexlar, but against all who participated in this unprovoked attack on our world." As the Council agreed to her terms, a new chapter in human history began, one that would change the galaxy forever. 6 months after the invasion ended, Earth was a changed world. Humanity had not only survived, but was now stepping onto the galactic stage. Ambassador Samantha Reed stood on the observation deck of the newly built Galactic Embassy in Geneva. Through the large windows, she could see both Earth below and the stars above in a view that would have seemed impossible a year ago. "Quite a view, isn't it?" said General Patterson as he joined her. He wore a new uniform with symbols representing Earth rather than any single nation. "Sometimes I still can't believe how much has changed," Samantha replied. "From fighting for survival to having a seat on the Council." Earth's special status in the Galactic Council had opened doors to new technologies, but humans were not simply taking. They were contributing in ways that surprised the older species. In a research center nearby, Dr. Wright and Dr. Lewis worked alongside scientists from 12 different alien worlds. The team was developing new communication systems based on Dr. Wright's insights into quantum signals. The humans approach problems differently. An Arxian scientist told the Council observer, "They don't follow established patterns. It's refreshing." Even more surprising to the galactic community was how Lieutenant Grace Martinez had been chosen to command the first mixed human-alien defense force. Her unit protected shipping lanes between Earth and friendly worlds. "Humans understand tactical flexibility better than any species I've served with," reported a veteran Morvian officer who served under her. "They adapt to new situations faster than our training programs can prepare for." The integration wasn't always smooth. Some alien species still viewed humans with fear, seeing only their capacity for warfare. Others were too eager to access human creativity without sharing their own knowledge. In the Council chambers, Ambassador Reed fought these battles daily. "Earth doesn't seek dominance," she told the assembled representatives during a tense debate. "But we will not be treated as a junior partner either. We earned our place here." Captain Alan Foster, now commanding Earth's first true starship, found himself becoming something of a legend among younger aliens. The story of his raid on Vexlar's command ship had spread throughout the galaxy. "Is it true you disabled a Drazak warship with primitive technology?" asked a young Tilasi engineer who had been assigned to his crew. Alan smiled. We just used what we had. That's what humans do. The former Drazak territories were now under Council administration. Many of the Drazak soldiers who had fought on Earth were surprised to find themselves treated fairly by the humans they had tried to conquer. "We expected revenge," admitted a Drazak commander to General Patterson during peace talks. "Instead, you offered medical care to our wounded." Patterson's answer was simple. "Winning isn't about destroying your enemy. It's about creating a better future." The greatest change came in how the Council approached new species. The Earth Protocol became standard procedure, requiring careful study and peaceful contact before any intervention. "We underestimated humans because we looked only at their technology," Xanthi told a class of young Council diplomats. "We failed to see their greatest strength, their spirit." In the Council archives, a new warning was added to the records on Earth. "Approach with caution and respect." They survived what should have been impossible. 1 year to the day after the invasion began, a ceremony was held to honor those who had died defending Earth. As the memorial flames were lit, representatives from over 50 worlds stood in silence alongside humans from every nation. Ambassador Reed looked out at the gathered faces, human and alien standing together under Earth's night sky. "Today we remember the cost of war," she said, "but we also celebrate what comes after, the courage to build peace." In the vastness of space, word spread quickly. If you needed help against oppression, Earth was the planet to call. The species that had barely survived its first contact with the galaxy was now becoming its most unlikely defender. The universe would never be the same again.